this right.
We gotta do this right.
It'll change the world.
The whole world.
It'll change my life.
That's right. That's right.
Aish.
If I do this right.
World peace.
If I do this right.
Come on.
It'll change the world. It'll change my life.
It'll change the whole life.
If I do this right.
If
I do this
Let's
right.
go.
if I do this right,
It'll change the world.
that's what's
It'll
up.
change my life.
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
If I do this right.
Oh, hi everybody. welcome to the show. Thank you guys for joining us, whether you're live or you're watching later. We definitely appreciate you guys joining us today. Couple of things that we want to talk about before we get started with the show. First of all, we want to say thank you to Vice President Kamala Harris for an amazing run at presidency. We fell short, but nevertheless, I think that she did an amazing job for the situation and the way that it was all presented to her in her election and her running. The work is not yet done. And I will say to anyone, if you are not into politics, I get it, but don't bury your head in the sand. Keep aware, especially now. Keep aware of what's going on. Make sure you know how these next 4 years are going to affect us as a community and as a country. But congratulations to Vice President Harris for running an amazing election. Tomorrow is Veterans Day, so thank you to all our vets. We appreciate your service and your dedication to this country. So, man, the legends are leaving us. Quincy Jones and Tony Todd passed away, so we definitely want to just give a moment of silence for those two. Thank you. Awesome. So, without further ado, we are going to have a very great show today. I can't tell you all how excited I am about this show and just what's going to take place. So, without further ado, we're going to start introducing our panelists. So, first up is going to be Miss Candy Lewis. She's going to come on stage. Hi, Candy.
Hi,
Hi, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm good. And then we're going to bring on Miss Ruby. Hi, Miss Ruby.
Hello, how are you guys doing?
Hi, Uri.
Good. Next up is Denver Thomas. Hi, Denver.
Hi, Denver.
And then we also have Miss Shika. Hey, girl, hey.
Hi.
And
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
last but not least is Miss Naisha. Come on up, Miss Naisha. Hey, girl.
Hello.
What a beautiful audience. What a beautiful panel. Guys, thank you so much for agreeing to do the panel discussion today. I'm super excited about what we're going to share. First of all, I want to let you guys introduce yourselves. And so it'll be because everybody's bio is posted. So if you need to see someone's bio, go look on our page. It's there. But I just want a short introduction. And with the introduction, you guys know if you've watched the show, we do a question of the show. So the question of the show today is, what traditional holiday food could you eat year round? So you're going to do a little short intro of yourself and then answer the question of the show. So we'll start off with you, Candy.
Okay. Hi, my name is Candy Lewis, and I'm an artist. I'm a paralegal. I have 3 boys. I'm a coach. I coach soccer, and I also coach basketball. And I love to travel. And mac and cheese. That's the baked mac and cheese from scratch. I can eat that all year.
Yes. Okay. I'm with that. I can dig that. Go ahead, Miss Ruby.
Hello, my name is Ruby. I am in education. I've been in education for many years. I am a mother of 3. Also love to travel. I'm also a mental health advocate, along with just being healthy all around, whether that's physical, mental, emotionally, spiritually as well. And I can eat dressing all year round.
Same. I love dressing. Now, do you eat yours with the cranberry sauce or without it, Miss Ruby?
Cranberry sauce and the gravy.
Gotcha. We same.
Or I
Same.
can eat it by itself. If I make it, I eat it by itself.
We here. We're here. Nice. You up next.
You said me? Oh, all right. I'm Naisha. I am a mental health advocate. I call myself Jactress of all trades and master of all because I'm like in everything, really everything. Um, I am a mother of four and a grandmother of two boys, two grandsons, and what could I eat? Greens. I can eat greens every day, all around.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have a particular type, like turned up mustard,
Collard greens.
collard? I like collard and mustard. I like a collard and mustard
Mustard.
mix. Y'all can see
Yes,
I'm greedy.
yes. No. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Shout out to the grandmas that don't look like grandmas.
Oh, that's right.
Shika, you up next, girl.
All right, I'm Shika Lachey. I am my day job is I own a company called SNS Residential. We deal with the individuals with intellectual disability. So I'm kind of the program manager over that. Something me and my mom started. And at night and any other extra time, I'm into entertainment, doing comedy, acting. I'm pretty much a jack of all trades too. I'm a mother and a grandmother, mother of 5 and 2 bonus babies, and grandmother of 1 and 1 on the way.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
my hands are full, but that's pretty. And a dog owner. She's sitting right here by my foot right now. And let me make it.
Must be Ava.
Yes.
Yep.
And mac and cheese is probably the meal that I could eat. That's something I could eat every time, all year. So,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I need an icebox pie too.
I got you. I got you.
Okay.
I make that once a year.
Yep. Denver, last but not least.
Hi, ladies. So I'm Denver. I'm a mother of two. I'm not a grandmother yet. Do not want to be yet. Okay. I am also a mental health advocate. I'm a licensed social worker. I'm a therapist. Um, I have my boys are 18 and 13. I've got 3 dogs. Okay. Those are also my babies. As far as like my background, there's a lot that I do. So domestic violence, sexual assaults, trafficking, IDD, the age population, CPS, you name it. So I've done a lot and I do a lot. And I also have a business where I will be helping those kind of create their resumes. And if anyone needs help filing protective order and all this other stuff, a lot.
Awesome. That is a lot. That is a lot. So, what is your traditional holiday food that you could eat year round? Oh, you went on mute. Something happened.
I muted
Okay.
myself. Squash dressing. Like I love dressing, but squash dressing is my favorite, and I could eat that all day, every day with cranberry sauce, no gravy.
That's a new one. Now, I like squash, but I just started liking squash in my adulthood. That was not something that I liked year round
If you
at
chop
all.
it real fine, nobody knows that it's in the dressing.
Gotcha. Well, again, thank you, ladies, so much for volunteering for this discussion today. Now, before we get started, I am going to read you all some statistics, okay? So, in the United States, 53% of adults have between 1 and 4 close friends. 38% have 5 or more, and 8 have none. The number of close friends a person has varies by age, with adults 65 and older having more close friends into younger adults, more close friends than younger adults. 72% of adults with close friends are very or completely satisfied with the quality of their friendships. However, only 56% of Americans are happy with the amount of time they spend with their friends, and 40% want more closeness with their friends. A study of 2,000 people found that people lost touch with almost 50% of their friends. The average female friendship lasts 16 years, which is 6 years longer than a romantic relationship on average. 82% of people have experienced friendships ending after they leave a job. So, if you had a friend at work, some challenges in different stages of life have been seen in college with the high frequency of social interaction, early career with limited time due to job commitments, parenthood, which is, prioritizing your family over social connections, and of course, midlife when you're reevaluating the importance of friendship, which is what we are talking about today. And some reasons why friendships end include selfishness, infrequent interactions, romantic involvements, and perceptions. Any of that shocking to anybody? No, not at all. Not at all. So I have a couple of questions that I want to ask you all, and we also are going to make sure that we leave everything open. Um, to anyone who has a comment, definitely feel free to leave a comment if you're watching in the chat. But I'm gonna start off with the first question. Candy, I'm gonna present it to you, and then anyone. The question is free game for the rest of the panel. But the first question I want to ask is, how do you deal with friends who still have areas of growth?
Well, I will work with them. I'm not going to dismiss my friend. What I have learned 2 years ago is about boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know anything about that. So if I share, like, hey, sis, this is how I'm feeling, or this is what I'm seeing, and let's talk about it. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'll make sure that she has a chance to, contribute to what my feelings or what I have seen that needs to be changed. And then
Mm-hmm.
if it's not changed, then there's a consequence come behind it. And what that may be is what we agree on. And then also it depends if I just can't, and if I have shared my concerns and then it's not received back, maybe not the way I want it, or that I'm not being heard, then I'll have to, I have to end the friendship, or somehow not, change the way how I used to communicate with that individual. So it all depends on the individual.
Yeah, that's fair. Anybody else want to chime in on that?
I would definitely agree with Candy. Especially with friendships, you have to be patient. You have to give them
Mhm.
grace because there's times, or even now, that I'm growing or needed growth, and someone had to be patient and gave me grace. But I also had a hard time as well. Didn't understand what boundaries meant. But then once I understood what actually, can you hear me?
Yeah, can
Okay.
hear you great.
Yeah, what boundaries meant and how to set those healthy boundaries. I also agree with Candy. I would have that conversation and let them know that you're crossing these boundaries and what my boundaries are. And then if it continues, because when you're putting up those boundaries, sometimes people don't want to believe that they're crossing those boundaries, or they may get
Yeah,
offended.
yeah,
So you just have to, I've always been taught to give things in kindness and in love on what you're doing. And then again, if they're continuing that, then that's when you have to really think about it and pray about it. Is this person adding to my life, or they're taking away from my life? And is this a healthy relationship that I want to continue?
absolutely. Absolutely. Anybody
Um,
else?
I'll chime in.
Yeah.
I agree. It's about grace. God gives us grace. He gives us mercy, but he also has limits.
Mm.
So it's like in one space, yes, I'm gonna give my friends grace for growth, because if it's a real friendship, you know your friend, you know how to deal with what they're working with. And sometimes, I mean, we got so much going on in our lives that
Mhm.
it's not something that you could just. push a button and it just changes overnight, So sometimes you do have to be patient, but with that respect, yes, we got boundaries, but then I'm gonna respect my friend because she's an adult and she's got choices. And so just like I got my world, they got theirs. I don't see the need to change this individual just for me. So I might feel like it's an area of growth, which is a perception of mine. And it may not be the case for that individual. So it's like if I know my friend, then I'm gonna just love her through it. But if it's something that is pressing or okay, this is doing too much. It's certain things that, hey, there's some rules, got some limits, and you know what you want. Like certain situations, a friend that is messing with your boyfriend or something like that. Yeah, those are deal breakers. So we got some deal breakers, but then it's some things that has nothing to do with me. That person may just be wrestling with a lot, and sometimes they just need us to be supportive. So
Agreed. Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point. Anybody else want to chime in? Okay. All right. No, that was great. That was great. So the next question I have, I'm gonna present it to you, Miss Ruby, is what makes your friendships valuable at 30 plus? Different than maybe what it was, of course, in our 20s and even high school, college years.
Child, high school was a long time ago. So let me think. No, just kidding. I'm almost 60.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh, I don't look it, but I'm almost,
Look
y'all.
You
amazing.
do not look it at all.
Just like those grandmothers out there don't look like their grandmothers. So that's
That's right.
good. Yeah. So, what makes friendship valuable to me? And I'll just be very transparent. Aisha knows how I am. I'm always honest. I'm always transparent. Growing up, I didn't have friendships. I was bullied in school. I thought they were my friends, making fun of me, things of that nature. So my elementary, junior, and high school years were kind of tough. I was so ready to graduate high school to get out, so the world could be totally different. And then even going on to, I went to Job Corps, and then I did some college, and it was still the same. So my friendships began once I began to start going into the workforce and being around people at church and things of that nature. But what makes those friendships valuable, especially those that I've had over 30 years, is what we bring to the table to each other. I always make sure laughter and we have fun and we're open and we're honest with each other as well. And if you're going through something and you know those friends are there for you, and if they're going through something, you know you're going to be there for those friends as well. And then you have to put certain people in category. Maya Angelou said that you are the CEO of your life and of your friendships. So you have to categorize those friendships, whether they're acquaintances or whether it's those ride or die. And we're
Yeah.
breaking bread together and things of that nature. So I value people in general, but we all don't have to be friends. But you know who your friends are and who's
Hmm.
going to be there for you and who you're going to be there for as well.
Absolutely. That's, yeah, spot on. Spot on. Anyone else want to chime in on that?
I'll chime in. I I think the most valuable friendships at this age is authenticity, being able to be yourself without being judged. So yeah,
Or unapologetically yourself.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You have
Absolutely.
understanding,
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyone else?
She just touched on a piece of the answer. For me, what's valuable is understanding. I lost a 20-year friendship
Mm.
with one of my college mates because her birthday falls around Mother's Day. In May, I'm no good to anybody, barely my kids. And so I talked to her that day and I forgot to tell her happy birthday. And she stopped talking to me, which, granted, she probably had some other things going on, but I just think understanding um, is also a key piece to a valuable friendship because different people handle situations, life, grief differently. So, understanding for me, that's more valuable at this point in my
Yeah.
40 life.
Yeah. Yeah. I always say it's valuable to look at someone's intent because we're human, so we're going to hurt each other. But what was the intent behind it? Were you intending to hurt? Were you intending to forget? Or did was it just a slip? So that's a great point. Great point.
And forgiveness looks like there wasn't a conversation there for you to say, "Oh, girl, I'm so sorry. My
Yeah,
schedule is busy
Right.
as well, so please forgive
yeah,
me." And
yeah.
then maybe
Sounds like
next
there
year
wasn't.
I'll mark that down. Sorry, Aisha.
Hmm.
I'll
No,
remember it.
you're fine. You're fine. Go ahead.
Hmm. I'm
Yeah.
done. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say you're right, and then the lack of communication is important in any relationship, whether it be friendship, romantic relationship. Communication is important, and how we communicate our feelings is important as well. So I'm sorry that that happened, Denver. That's I can only imagine how that feels. So
That's why I signed up for this panel because it's important for us because then I was grieving again,
yeah,
but there was no room for communication because they stopped communicating. So openness is another valuable piece to being open.
yeah. Let me ask you, Denver. Do you feel that you have had closure since your I don't know if she's not open to communication, but have you had closure with it?
I had to because when we went 3 months without talking, I had to develop some closure for myself. I mean, we talked briefly after, but it wasn't the same. So
Yeah,
I had to get some closure with myself. But I know the intent was not to forget. It's just that in May, mentally, I'm just not there.
yeah,
And she still has her mother, so she doesn't understand when you lose a close piece to you like that. That's monumental. She didn't understand, so I gained some closure. It still hurts, but I got closure from it.
yeah, yeah. Whew.
That's definitely major because it is if they haven't lost their mom, they don't understand. But I wanted to add to accountability is very important.
Hmm.
Um, I think that all of these aspects definitely play a big part in valuable friendships at this age. But then again, if we 30 and up, we should be able to take accountability for even if we didn't have even if it was bad intent or good intent or didn't even know, wasn't aware. It's like it takes communication, it takes the understanding, it takes the patience, and it takes the accountability to have a valuable relationship. Because Lord knows I could be a little firecracker sometimes, this little Leo over here.
Never.
And every now and then, my real friends have to say, "Hey, too much, too much." And it's like, okay, bad. And then sometimes, I try to tone it down, because it's what it is. It's a trial and error with real friendships. And I think nowadays we're in a society where the first thing we want to do, we get all these memes and these quotes about cutting people off. I'm cutting everybody off. I'm out here by myself, and it's like sometimes that's not the case. And it may be the case in certain scenarios, but sometimes it's not. Like, is it worth at least making the effort like you did, making that effort to communicate, try to talk. And if this person is not willing to talk, then it's time to
Yeah.
close that chapter because it
There's
does
nothing
take
else that
two.
you can do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
For me,
yeah,
I would like, my friends, I should be able to trust them. That's huge for me. Um, the not being judgmental, that I feel like I have to be able to be comfortable to be who I am and not pretend to be somebody else.
yeah,
Or if I sense that you're pretending to be my friend and you're really not, but I sit back and I watch, of different individuals' actions. But
Mhm.
going back to high school and versus today, I have one best friend from junior high, and we're still friends today. So I don't mind telling how old I am. I'm 46. So I met her when I was 12, and we're still friends
Wow.
today. And
wow,
even though different stages of our lives, becoming a young woman to a woman to my best friend, she's married with her children. That was an adjustment for me because I was single, still single, but with no children. And I was like, oh, it felt like I lost my best friend, but it's because it shifted and changed, and we were like connected. If you see me, you see her. You see her, you see me, and that's just how it was, you know. But
Mhm.
as I was transitioning into a young adult and meeting other people, and leading up till today, like I examine my friendships probably about maybe every 6 months or something and see how it goes, checking in with myself because I know I have changed. I know I have grown. I know there's
Yeah.
some work for me to do, and where I'm looking for, or what I'm at today is that I'm looking for a genuine friendship, not associates. And I realized, oh, all this time I thought these people were friends, but they really were just associates. So,
Yeah.
because I don't hear you until you see me, oh, hey, I love you. And, and then I don't see you until another year or so. So I'm like, okay, I had to understand that because I didn't get that at that point. And where I'm at with God, I'm just looking for like-minded people, because there will be certain things that you're not able to express or share if they're not understanding where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
And I dealt with, like I mentioned, being taken advantage of. I had dealt with um, trust. I've lost some friends due to trust and backbiting and backstabbing that has, taken place. So because of that, and I think more so that is like a trauma
Hmm.
that kind of put a defense up of trying to meet new people and not realizing I'm missing out of potential friends.
That's yeah, absolutely, 1000%. Um, you mentioned something, um, and I think it goes back to um that grace that we were talking about, when you was talking about how, your friend was married, and because we change, life changes, and we have to grow and be willing to kind of grow kind of with each other, if you value that friendship. And I think you brought up a good point on something like we read in the statistics earlier about things that cause division within friendships, because a lot of people don't realize the grace that it takes when you are transitioning in life, because that if you are living, you're going to transition in
Hmm.
some way, shape, form, or fashion. Someone made a comment. They say people still think you are the old you, and hold that on you, even if you are older and have upgraded your life with kids and education.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But
Yep.
that's just the
Absolutely.
dynamics of your friendships changing. Because I used
Mhm.
to be that single person, and anytime my friends would say, go, let's go. Now that I'm married, they don't understand that the dynamics of that friendship have changed.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
waited 20 years to get this husband, so y'all can just go. No, I'm just kidding.
I hear you, Miss Ruby.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I done waited a long time for this man. Y'all been with y'all's husband. I've been the third wheel for years.
Yeah.
So, and we don't have to be going out or doing anything. I'm just at
Yeah.
home if we're watching movies or whatever the case may be. But the dynamics of our friendship has changed, and I had to have a conversation with some of my friends that to let them know I'm not accessible to you as I
Yeah.
used to be when I was
Yeah.
single.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Not saying that I won't go if I, contact him and say this is okay, whatever. But on Sundays, we just be out all night, whatever the case may be. But on Sundays, after the Cowboys lose, y'all, we don't see 'em.
With that is like, that was something,
Sorry,
that
Denver.
I had to learn, and because that's a new adjustment. Like, okay, my bestie is married, and I'm extremely happy for her. And then she also left me because she moved to another state. But at the same time, this is her life. But we worked it out. And I don't think she knows. Sorry, bestie, love you. But but just working, for me personally, working that through, and because of our
Mhm.
conversation, we can pick up for where we left off, as if we never skipped a beat.
That's
Mhm.
yeah. And that's what's key. That's what's
Yep.
key.
Hmm.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, that was great, guys. I'm going to move the conversation along. Let's see. Naisha, you are up next. Um, let's see. Pick a question here because I got them in a row. Okay. So, what strategies have you found effective in staying connected with friends despite busy schedules?
Yes,
She
yes.
could say, pick eight, pick eight.
I really, I just respect that we all are busy. We all have stuff going on. I am that needy friend that, I'm the one reaching out. I'm the one sending texts. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? Good morning. I'm that friend. But I understand that, they may be busy. They may not can talk. I try to reach out, you know, uh, when I'm not busy, a phone call or whatever, because I do live in a different state than
Mhm.
my friends. And so I just try to respect everybody's time, but I am that friend. I am sending a good morning text every day. I
Yeah. Oh,
I am checking in. How are you doing? Our last conversation, if something happened,
hmm
I'm asking how did that go? I'm that friend.
hmm
Yes.
Sheikah.
All right. So definitely everybody knows Aisha's like my sister. So we have a group text, me, Aisha, and our other sis, Keita.
Yep.
Um, we don't see each other every day. We probably see each other once or twice a year,
Yeah.
but their friendship is solid. And it's like sometimes it is just that trust that we solid no matter what. I know that, when my mom passed, they was on the road headed this way, so and not just the downs, but the ups. We got
Yeah.
exciting stories that we get to share. So we got the group text. It's kind of like our
Yeah.
own little Facebook.
Yeah.
And I also have friends here that's like family that we're busy, but we incorporate our lifestyles together. So we definitely make time to hang out and make sure we have fun and play game night, do game nights, different things like that to make that effort. But in reality, she's in a different city. Aisha's in a different city. Kita's in a different city. When they come in town, they might not get to see me, but or they may not have time. It's just reality. Sometimes you just don't have time, but you have to trust that the friendship is solid no matter what. And you got to know like I said, you got to know your friends' hearts. But that's our way. We just kind of, at the end of the day, we got this group text that's never going to change. And I finally joined the iPhone family so then they can FaceTime. So
Welcome.
And y'all,
thanks to
it's
me
one of those
becoming a
things
grandma.
when she FaceTime me, I hurry up and pick up that phone because it's important. If she FaceTime me, it's important.
I thought I didn't fit in. I thought I lost my friends because I was an Android user and I threw a little
And she
tantrum.
literally said that.
So
You
yes,
was
we
delivered.
definitely, yeah, we definitely make it's just you just have to make the efforts and
Yeah.
definitely appreciate friends like you, Naisha, that just like good morning, motivational
Yeah.
speech.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
awesome. So it's just you just have to know your friend groups and just
Yeah.
trust that hey, at the end of the day, these we solid. So
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. Someone said it's hard to stay connected out of sight, out of mind. It happens. Life happens. You will realize who's your friend and who's not. Long distance. Yeah, I think because I'm gonna highlight on some stuff that she could just said. We weren't always in different cities. We used to work for the same company. So we would see each other almost daily. But as life happens, things happen and everybody kind of drifts off their separate ways. I would say we had a growing spell. We had to grow through that. But what I love about us is that we loved each other enough to give our own self and the other person grace as we grow through transition. I would hold Shika, don't hurt me for saying this. I'll never because somebody made a mention, Miss Ruby when Sheikah got married,
What did
Sheikah
you
texted
do?
us, y'all don't leave me. I still love y'all. We're like, we
I
not,
did.
but we understood. But we understood that she was married, and that comes with different obligations. Um, Again, that grace is so important, that understanding is so important, and that communication is so important. And I think that people forget that time and time again in all their relationships. Someone said Naisha does a good job with checking in on her friends. It's needed because sometimes we get so busy with the day to day that it's a relief to take a step back and get that thoughtful text. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a pleasant surprise, a warm hug when you get that. Hey friend, I was just thinking about you.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about you. Um, and I think that that shows intention. Like you're intentionally reaching out. I used to be one that thought that if I didn't hear from my friend every day, then that person didn't care about me. And that's not necessarily the truth. That friend
Yeah.
is busy. Life happens. So it even means more when I get that FaceTime call out the blue, or I get that text message that says, "Sis, I just wanted to let you know this happened today." So absolutely, absolutely.
Can I say
It
something,
helps.
Aisha?
Absolutely. Go ahead, Miss Ruby.
I will say this about Aisha. We used to work together, and congratulations, you are going to be starting a new job. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
you're good about that as well. And even you mentioned about the coworkers, working with coworkers, things of that nature. We used to work together. I no longer work there, but we keep in touch. And she'll just reach out and say, "Miss Ruby, I'm thinking about you." And there's
Yeah.
others that are there. And sometimes you guys don't know when you're doing that what type of day that I'm having, or anybody what type of day they're having. And it puts a smile on
Yeah.
my face when you guys do that, even though we no longer work together, and even those that are still there. That puts a
Yeah.
smile on somebody's face when you're doing
Yeah.
that. So, what's your name? Naisha?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Mr.
Nice.
We've got the
You got
glasses
it.
on there.
You got it, Miss Ruby.
Yeah, so keep that up because that's your gift.
Absolutely.
That's your gift.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Ruby. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I love when Miss Ruby hit me up and like, girl, we ain't had lunch in a while. When we going to eat? I love that. Anybody else want to share or comment on that before I move on to the next
I
question?
do. I do. So I've got like, okay, I'm in that 38% that I have at least 10 solid friends. Now,
Mm-hmm.
with those 10 solid friends, there's like 7 different groups, but we stay in touch with social media. There's one friend that I talk to. We have we talk to each other at least 5 times a day. She's
Yeah.
married. There was some adjusting because I was married, then I got divorced, and now I'm single. And there,
Mm-hmm.
she adjusted, but we stay in touch with social media.
Yeah.
Whether I send memes at 2 o'clock in the morning because I can't sleep, they know that I'm thinking about them, and that's
Yeah.
my little love language for all my friends. If I send them those memes or TikToks at 2:15, about 2:20, they know that I'm thinking about them. And that's
Yeah.
how we stay in touch with each other. And of course, texting and occasional FaceTimes or Google Duo.
Yeah. You make it work. You make it work.
Mhm.
Kita is, Lord, I'm about to talk about it. She ain't here. But Kita is the worst about Kita is the worst about communicating. So every once in a while, I'll send her a text. I don't know if y'all watch Finding Nemo with the girl with the braces taps on the screen. I send her
Yeah.
that text message. That mean I ain't heard from you. You all right?
I do that.
But
I'll send a friend I haven't heard from in a while. I'll send the eyes. I'll be like, hey, what's going
yeah,
on there?
yeah,
They heard from you.
yeah, yeah. You gonna say that
I
in a
was
minute. I ain't
send
heard from you. You all right over
Right.
I would send
there?
a like on the iPhone they have the emojis that you can talk and be a character. So I would send a message and I would say, "Hey, I haven't heard from you. I know where you live, so that means I have to get on a flight to come to where you're at. I'm coming." You know, but
I love that.
yeah, I have to work on for myself. I have to work on communication too because like it was a whole adjustment for me versus not having children and then have instant children and then have my own child. So
Mm-hmm.
some of y'all don't know that I adopted my nephews. I have two boys that I adopted, which was my brother's children, 7 years ago. So they're now 10 and 13. And then I have a 4-year-old. So my life was quite different before I adopted my nephews versus what it was, being responsible for myself. So I had time to, communicate with other single friends I have and, don't have to worry about how I'm going to get to certain places looking for a babysitter. So it was easy. It was easy for me to navigate and move around versus now having children and needing a babysitter, putting my priorities, which is to focus on the children, and then also dealing with myself personally of the loss of my brother and gaining two more souls. So that was really tough
Yeah.
and rough for me. And I think with most of my friends, I don't think they understood where I was coming from, the trauma I was dealing with, the hurt, and I isolated myself. So that went on for about 5 years, and then I slowly started coming out of it. And you will hear from me, or you may not hear from me. And now where I'm at today is way better what I was before, and I'm able to adjust. And um, from Minnesota and I live in Austin, Texas. So I'm away from all my friends and family. I have a friend here in Austin, and then I have some scattered throughout Texas. And then, of course, Aisha, which she welcomed me with open arms, warm and fuzzies. But yeah, she's awesome. And so, with Aisha, I can say as an example, like, okay, I'm opening the door. She do check on me once in a blue moon, like, hey, what's
Yep.
going on, Candy? You want to talk? I can lend my ear to you and such. And I'm like, aw. And so I appreciate that, but I'm still building up as far as, trust. I'm not saying I don't trust Aisha, but what I'm just saying
Mm-hmm.
in general, I'm trying to trust and be vulnerable again.
Yeah.
So, I have to let go of what was in the past and understand that it has nothing to do with the individual and new people that's coming to me that I can learn
Yeah.
from. So, yeah, I guess that's
That's
about
beautiful.
it I can think of right now.
No, that was great. And you mentioned some things. I'm gonna share something here, because you mentioned something that I think is very. It happens to all of us. That loss. I think Denver kind of related to it, and it's loss will change how you view your friendships, and it'll help you understand who is really there for you. Oh, I hope I don't cry. I've shared this before, but when I lost my mother, my friend right there dropped what she had been. Okay, so if you don't know, Longview is about 2 hours from Dallas. I live here in Dallas. She could lives in Longview. When I lost my mom and I had to go to Oklahoma to unpack my mom's room in her in the nursing home, my friend had just been to Dallas the night before, that weekend,
I
something
really
like that.
can't remember.
It was something
I
like that.
can't
I
remember.
remember it. It stood out to me so much.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say why in a minute. She took. She had just been to Dallas the night before. The drive I'd have to take was about 2 hours. She said, "I'm not gonna let you do that by yourself. Meet me in Canton, which is about an hour. It's halfway for both of us, and then I'm gonna drive you to Oklahoma." That meant so much to me because she took time out of her day as a business owner to say, "I'm going to be there for you." Because and why it was so pivotal for me in our relationship is because I also had another friend who could easily be accessible, who did not show up for me at a time that I needed all the love and all the support that I could get. Um After that happened, I really processed my friendships after that point because it
Feel
wasn't
you.
the fact that what you say, Chica?
I say, you know, I love you.
Yep, cut it out, cut it out, cut it out. Woo.
No, that's my baby. Listen, we will fight, we will cut up, but don't you can't talk about her.
I know that's right.
You can't talk about it, you can't hurt her. That's mine. That's my baby. But no, it really helped me understand how close we were and how other people only value you for the good time.
Mm,
Let's just have fun together. Let's talk about dudes. Let's go get a drink. But when the rubber hits the road, who is there for you?
yeah.
Who is there for you? Those checking my mom always said to me, if you think about somebody, reach out. If they constantly on your brain, reach out. And I am that one. I'm gonna hit you up. If I hadn't heard from you or you on my brain, I'm gonna touch bases with you. So the love is not necessarily because I got to see you every day or I got to hear from you every day, but just the thoughtfulness and the intention and the being intentional. Sheikah was intentional with me. Where Sheikah couldn't be, Keita picked up. They were intentional with me, and we are the three of us are deaf to us do us part. I'm gonna put them in the nursing home, and, and so I can visit them together because they older than me. I'm the baby.
I'm going in an assisted living home. That's where I'm
Well,
going.
as long as they put y'all
I want my own little
across the
apartment.
hall from each other, just as long as y'all across the hall from each other.
We're gonna
But
be
no,
roommates.
And also, if I could, don't mind if I chime in too.
yeah, go ahead.
During the period of time that my brother passed, I was grateful, and I still am grateful that I did have my church family, my pastor, and my friend. That they really walked me through it, and others that were there were able to walk me through it, and I'm not sure if I should say names. That means that I don't want to miss out anybody else if I start naming names. So
No, I
y'all know
understood.
who you are, but
Yeah,
they walked through with me, and even today, so that's an example of friendship as far as mindset that have a spiritual background that communicates with God to actually, hey, Ken, you need to go this direction, or let's pray about it, because
yeah,
at the beginning, I was like, okay, I need all your prayers. And then when I was angry, I was like, I don't want to hear no prayers. Why y'all praying for
Mm,
me? Don't pray for me. Like, leave me alone. That's just how my mind has
yeah,
shifted.
yeah,
But if it
yeah.
wasn't for God, first of all, and those
Mhm.
that He intentionally have placed in my life at the time that took place, and even some are still there after the fact, they're still checking, in with me. I'm still being involved in other things too. So I just wanted to put that out there. Um, Not necessarily saying that I didn't, like, there wasn't anyone there for me during the time of passing. What I'm saying, that there are those two that I expect to have been there and they weren't.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm grateful for that, to where I'm at today, and it's all because of the community that I did, engaged in, and I had to myself to allow that to happen.
yeah,
Because if I didn't allow that, then I would be stuck in my way of those changes, and who knows where I could have been. I could have
yeah,
lost my mind, but I didn't. I could have just broke down and be depressed, but I did not,
yeah,
mhm,
because I wanted to quit. And to be totally honest, I want to quit. I still do, but my
hmm,
spirit won't allow me, so I keep
hmm,
moving. So
yeah,
that's why I need friendship that are really going to be there for me and not be against me. That's what I need right now to uplift me and uphold me, and not that I don't have to vent, just to express what I'm feeling, but just say, hey, I'm just here. I just want to sit beside you, or let me treat you. I don't. Sometimes I guess I can't put my expectation is another word I'm actually thinking of, that, like, on a person, expect them to do it if they don't have the same thinking as myself, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, because we
Absolutely.
all different, so we all think differently and receive differently. And then,
Yeah.
most importantly, learning about emotional intelligence, because not everybody has that.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A good friend of mine and I makes a habit of saying to each other, "What do you need from me in this space
Mm,
that you're in right now?"
You don't
yeah.
know what to
Um,
say. I don't
because
know.
and sometimes it's not about what you say. Just like you said, sometimes it's just about just being there.
Being
Just
present.
sit with me. Just sit
Yeah.
with me. Yeah. Absolutely.
I'll
Absolutely.
say this to Denver. I didn't want to say anything earlier, but thank you for being transparent, Aisha. And I've had several losses in my family as well, but there was a devastating loss when I lost my son. And
Mm-hmm.
there
Mhm.
is a grieving process. And it was all of a sudden. And then we had to wait 90 days to understand why he had passed because we didn't know he was 27 years old, healthy young man. We didn't know what happened to him. But when it goes to friendship, when you're grieving, just like Aisha said about Shika, those that are there for you, you know those are your ride or die. And
Yeah.
I say this, Denver's, I always had this girlfriend that every time she needed me, I was always there. If somebody in her family passed, I was always there. And I still do that for all my friends. I drop everything. Just like Shika told you, Aisha, I'll meet you in Canton. I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
Um, and so the day that he passed, people were coming over to the house and everything. And we hadn't talked in maybe 2 or 3 months over a misunderstanding. And her and her husband showed up to the house and they came to the funeral. And then he passed in May. The funeral was in June. Well, my daughter's birthday is in July. Her birthday is the day before my daughter's birthday. And she makes this big deal about her birthday. And so I missed her birthday. And so, like
Mm.
2 o'clock in the morning, she sent me a text. 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm asleep. She sent me a text and she said, "Hey, just checking on you. Um, I lost a friend, so and so and so." She had a friend that had passed. And she said that, and then my birthday was so and so and so. Me and my husband, we were in Hawaii. Here's some pictures of us being in Hawaii. Give me a call when you can. And I'm just going to be honest, grief has different emotions. And at that time, I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping, I was praying myself to sleep. So I texted her and I said, "Well, I'm doing good. Thanks for reaching out. But at this time, I don't have the energy to put into this right now. I can't eat, I can't sleep, and I just want to die." And I would have figured I would have had a phone call, but I
Yeah.
didn't get a phone call. And we still see each other now and then. She'll reach out to me. We've gotten through it, we've forgiven each other, but our friendship is totally different because I was there for her and I expected her to be there for me.
Yeah.
But as life goes on, there's this saying, people are in your life for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. And
Yeah.
so I know why I was in her life and I know why she was in my life. And there's no hard feelings or anything, but grief changes who you are and it puts things in perspective. So you hold on to those that are there for you and hold on to those that are in your life. And someone put in there that church family is great. And that church family of mine, girl, they were there for me. And still to
Yeah.
this day, still to this day.
Yeah.
I want to chime in a little bit on that because it's interesting y'all talking about, grief. And I mean, the same thing, like I said, she dropped what she had and came to my rescue too, because my mom passed during COVID.
Mhm.
So, and it was around her birthday. We was planning her birthday, and really, I had to plan her birthday just to get my mind off of it. Um, but grief is it's a major process that you have to deal with. Like it is a lot of emotions. And it's funny because I'm the type of friend that I don't like to be vulnerable. And I know that's one of the topics, but I don't like to be vulnerable around my friends and they know that about me. So I'm not quick to cry and drop tears. Like I'm one of those that I'll go in the corner and cry, but I might spaz out a little later. So
Mhm.
and my real friends, like even like I said, my family, my circle that's here in Longview, they used to always tell me we was on standby. Like they was literally having conversations with each other. Like just be on standby because she just might break down at any moment. Just be ready, be on standby. Like nobody just, they gave me my space, they gave me my boundaries. Thankfully, my husband, who is my best friend, he was pretty much the one who caught the worst of it, but in a good way. Like he was there, during the tantrums, the breakdowns. But my circle and my friends were like, so they were prepared for if I was to crash out in our terms now, or just kind of lose it. And they were ready to be support. And I do remember one time my mom, I think it was my mom's birthday. I think it was either the first or second year, it was her birthday after her passing. And I shut down completely. I was just like, I took time for myself. Like I didn't just, it was a planned shutdown. Like I literally said, I'm not finna have no energy for nothing. And I gave everybody a heads up, and next thing you know, they show up with a moo like, okay, you can shut down, but you're gonna be comfortable while you shut down. So they brought me a moo and it really made my day. I was like, okay, I'm ready to get up. And they gave me my time and they showed up probably like that afternoon or something like that. And like, nah, we finna hear you moo. We done got our moo. We finna get in bed with you. And so, I think that's with our age, that's probably one of the things that we experience more than people that, I mean, I know younger people are definitely dealing with losses, but I feel like as you age, you definitely deal with more losses over time. And so I think it is extremely important to have the right support and to understand energy levels. And because even with grief, you don't have time, no, you don't have the energy like you did a week ago where you was, ready for this and ready for that and ready to go. And you just might, it's so up and down. And just a shameless plug, I did write a book about grief in case y'all want to get that.
If you weren't gonna say it, I was.
It is the process of grief, processing the grief with the loss of my mom, and I did it in a way to make it more conversational and comfortable to help you understand the processes that you go through with grief. So
Yeah.
It's a process.
It is a process. Denver, I just want to hug you right now. I'm giving you a virtual hug.
I didn't intend to be crying during this podcast. I was trying to be
so happy. I don't know why I didn't have no. Listen, I'm the crybaby of the group. I will cry if you look at me the wrong way. So,
well, you know what? And listening to Miss Ruby, because I mean, I know we could go on and on this topic, but listening to Miss Ruby, even during that grief, because I'm still grieving because it was traumatic, and so I wasn't a good friend either because she lived in San Antonio and she drove. When she found out what happened, she drove 6 hours to me, and she worked from East Texas after the funeral. So she stayed even days after the funeral. So that's why, although I had some closure, it still hurts because the friend that I met in college, and she was there for me during that time. And I feel like I wasn't there for her because I don't like to travel and I don't like to drive over 2 hours. And I wasn't there for her when she just needed somebody to come visit her in San Antonio. And so it's not just her, it's both of us, but it still hurts. I mean,
exactly. Because a loss, you grieve losses as well. A loss is a loss.
Yeah, and I think it sounds like y'all just need to have a conversation.
I tried. I sent her a happy birthday message.
But then that's all you can do.
I sent her a happy birthday message on her birthday this year, not forgetting I didn't get a response. So I think I'm through.
Did you do everything you can do?
If she's valuable to you, keep trying, because me and Aisha bumped heads before. And she was done talking to me because I threw a temper tantrum because I felt like she was spending more time with this friend than me. And I threw a fit and I was upset. And we both worked at the same place. We ain't giving them no name. We worked at the same place and she wasn't talking to me. I was chiming in on Google chat and all of that. Said, you sure right. I know one thing you like to do. You figure out what that friend like, and if they can't turn down, she couldn't turn down food. And I grabbed, what did I bring? Cupcakes?
It was something sweet, and
I walked
then
right over
came
there to
over
her
there.
office. I walked to her office, and you're gonna talk to me right now because you want you. But yes, like sometimes if it's a value, it's just like we understand the concept when it comes to relationship. Like when you're
Yeah,
dating, sometimes we'll go all out. The you picture the man with the stereo playing the song in the window because the woman is done. Like sometimes you gotta go all out for your friend too. If it's
that's
valuable,
true.
sometimes you got to, and if you make that effort and it's still not work, doesn't work out, that's understandable. But if that person loves you, I mean, because at one instance, it's like, are you really mad for this one mistake I made?
Yeah,
Or it could be in her shoe, like if she's feeling like some people like it's a one-sided, some people will come to that, like you just admitted about not driving. So maybe she came to term, maybe she feels like it's a one-sided friendship or that you're not giving the same effort. She understands what you're going through, but just if it's a valuable friendship, I'll say there's no limits when it comes to friendship. Because if my friend decides she's not talking to me, I will pull up. I will. I
Yeah.
don't mind driving to my friend's house if
I wish she
she
was
knows.
lying, but she is not. She mean it. She will
I'm the
show up.
aggressor. She's the crybaby. I'm the aggressor.
She
Yeah.
will baby daddy call you.
I will. And
I
that's with
Um,
agree.
anything. That's with anything.
yeah,
I definitely respect boundaries, but if she's sick, like if you're sick, or if I get concerned that something's wrong and you're not answering, like, yes, I had to work on that too because for a while, even after my mom passed, and I used to get anxiety real bad if a friend of mine don't answer the phone because that's what happened. My mama didn't answer the phone, and I was
yeah,
thinking she was taking a nap. So for for a couple of years, I was like in a panic mode. If any friend of mine didn't answer the phone, I would give them a window, and I would probably be spazzing. So I did work on that, but if it's important, yeah, I would suggest you know get creative with it, figure out what can get your friend's attention if she's valuable.
yeah. I would sum that up by saying Denver, and you may have, but be vulnerable. Be vulnerable. You
You
on
know,
mute,
me,
and you talking trash. But go ahead, go take me what you
I'm always vulnerable. I am that vulnerable friend.
say. Okay, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
But I'm taking some notes. Don't worry.
We're gonna ask one more question, y'all. That was good. That was good. I'm a big baby cry after all of this is over. So Denver, I'm gonna present you a question. We're gonna talk about that, and then we'll wrap the show up for the day. I think this is a good one. What advice would you give your younger self about friendships?
What advice would I give my younger self? Listen more, talk less.
Mm,
Um, y'all heard me say I'm a therapist and I'm a social worker, so I'm passionate about a lot. And oftentimes I would not listen to understand my
mm,
friends.
mm-hmm.
So as I've grown, I have to reciprocate what they do for me. Like they listen to understand. They don't listen just to hear me. They listen to understand. And so I've had to kind of flip the switch. And just because I listen all day, every day to people, sometimes I just get tired of listening and I don't listen and I don't hear them.
Yeah,
So I would talk less because I talk a lot and listen more.
I can appreciate that. Anybody else have anything? Yeah, that's a good one.
I would say
My
everybody ain't your friend
yeah,
Yeah.
because at
everybody.
20 I thought everybody was my friend. I
Yep.
thought the whole world was good and had a crash course. I did, and as time progressed, I learned what real friendship is. So definitely reevaluate friendships at an early age.
Yep.
Definitely.
Mine has all will be and always will be. You can't expect you out of everybody.
yeah, I love it.
You can't expect you out of everybody. Just because you will do it, that's what you would do. And sometimes it means giving out of a free will. So, for case in point, if I text you, I don't expect you to text me out of the blue. I do it from a free space of my heart
Mm-hmm.
because that might not be the type of person you are, and I'm okay. I had to know that I got to be okay with that. Can't expect me out of everybody. Yeah,
Mine would be foundation. What's my
yeah,
foundation of the friendship of that I'm building a relationship with?
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
had to learn. I had to learn. Like I'm the giver. I'm the care for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one that puts myself out there and does everything for everybody. I had to learn what friendship was like,
yeah,
a balance, because I was in foster care up until I was 8 and then adopted. So I never developed those childhood friendships that a lot of people had. And I yearned for that. I wanted those type of friendships. Like I wanted to have a best friend that known me since I was little and we grew up and got older together. I never had that. And
yeah,
so I'm really just starting my adult friendships because I've always felt like an outcast, and I always felt like I didn't fit in because I'm also a victim of trauma and abuse. So I I didn't have that same view that everyone in the world was, there's good in everybody. I did,
Mm-hmm.
and I did. I learned quickly. So I'm like building my friendship circle. I'm I'm
yeah,
I'm still I'm still being vulnerable, but it has limits. Like I would be the one that tells you everything when I meet you, everything about my life, everything about me, and that was in intimate relationships too, just everything, right? Because I
yeah,
wanted to
yeah,
be accepted. I wanted to be welcome. But no, we don't do that no more. We learn
I
quickly.
had to learn
Yeah.
that lesson too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
had to I had to rid myself of toxic people that
Yeah.
that weren't for me just because they were friends or family. That
yeah.
you aren't for me, so you don't get to be in my circle. And so I have I have a very small circle, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm still, I'm still putting myself out there because I do want those type of friendships, those genuine friendships. But I had to learn what a friendship was. Like I had to heal myself first and be
Exactly.
friends with myself first and love myself first and then
Yeah,
reach out.
yeah,
Amen, girl.
that's good.
Yeah. I
You don't
want
preach.
healthy. I'm sorry, Aisha.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Matilda.
I said I want healthy relationships. During COVID, well, right before COVID, I started counseling because I was in an unhealthy relationship, and I wanted to make sure that I had healthy relationships. So that point on, I want to begin to build those healthy relationships. And I know Candy said earlier, I'm a firm believer in trust. I don't lie. So I can't stand for someone to lie to me. It makes no sense because you got to cover up the lie, to cover up the lie, to cover up the lie. Just tell me the truth. That way we can deal with it. That's just me. I'm a straight shooter. Just shoot me straight. That way I can handle it. So I want to make sure that I have healthy relationships. And I'm an example for my children. And I also have a bonus child as well. So they come to me with, Mama, how do you do this? And so forth and so on. Or the little one, he's 8, and he's like, so and so doesn't like me, and teaching him as well. So we have to be that example. And so those health relationships, whether that's family, church members, co-workers, whatever that case may be, husbands, spouses, whatever that case may be, I want it to be healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good. That's great.
Can I say
Does
one
anyone
thing?
go ahead, Candy? Yeah,
Okay, they
absolutely.
had everybody gone. I don't want to like
No,
hijack.
you
I
you
feel like I
good. You good.
do. Okay, so I'm gonna paraphrase it, but I'm sure we all have seen Tyler Perry movies. And there was a particular part he was speaking about a tree, describing the leaves, that's describing the branches and the root. So the root have
Mm-hmm.
a certain amount of roots that is in the ground. Those are the rooted people. They're not going to sway left. They're not going to sway right. They're going to be there for you. And then you have the branches. The branches are tricky. So what that happens with the branches, they grow out and they keep on growing and growing. You're thinking that they may be the root, but they're not. And eventually they just break off and you don't know what happened to them. We have the
Yep.
leaves that falls off the tree and they blow whichever the way the wind blows. And when he was speaking about that, he was basically saying that, everybody has an assignment. There's people that are meant to be leaves, then you have those that are meant to be branches, and then you have those that are meant to be a root. And so from just that, it had me looking at things differently versus when being a kid and your parents would say, did you make a new friend? It's like, yeah, I made a new friend or did not, versus coming as an adult, if that makes sense. Like, the mindset, this is how I started making friends, and I still think that way at that time as you get older until you live long enough to realize, okay, this is not how it works, and you figure out who are your friends and who are not in different scenarios, a part of our lives, who is actually there for us and not there for us.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's interesting because I do want to point out the aspect that I know a lot of times we gauge our friendships on who's there when we're down. Like they're there when on the good times, and then they're not there, or they not there when it's bad. But there is sometimes situations where the friend is quick to be there for the down times, but they not celebrating you in the great times.
Mm.
Those are also the friends that you need to evaluate. So
Mm.
it's some things that you kind of got to pay attention to as we get older. And I think we don't pay attention to that as our younger version. But I also feel like as kids, I feel like we needed all those friends. We needed our 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 friends that we had.
Yeah.
I do feel like it helps, and it's not always. You don't have to have it. Some kids are not the kid that want all the friends, but some kids are, and that's part of their development. But then as time progresses, of course, yes, it's like once you get to a certain age, you can't be like, oh, I just showed up and everybody's my friend, and we're gonna all hang out forever. Like that's not reality. So I just wanted to point that out. Like it's a gradual thing when it comes to having friendships and getting older. So
And that's the innocence of the kids as well, that sweet innocence. Because my bonus son's like that, because we were getting ready to do his birthday party this year, and he wanted to invite the whole class. I'm like, you can't invite the whole class.
right.
I said, Daryl,
Everybody's my friend.
I know. I said,
That's my baby girl.
we can't pay for all them folks, a girl. And so he says, well, they were going to invite me to their party. I said, no, it's February. Y'all started school in August. How many parties have you invited to? Well, they ain't had no birthday. I said, yeah, they didn't have a birthday.
Somebody done had a
Yeah.
birthday.
So my husband and I, we told him how many people he can invite. So he wrote his invitations. He gave them all, but only one person showed up for his birthday party. And his little feelings were hurt. So we had to explain to him, maybe they couldn't come, so forth and so on. And then he had one young man that was at the same place for his birthday party that he invited, but didn't come over and tell him hi. So we had to, just let him know about friendships and things of that nature. But that's that sweet, that innocence. And I'll
Yeah.
say this and I'll be quiet. Even the sweet innocent with the color of them, how he sees color. He doesn't see color. People always say, I don't see color. He thinks everybody's supposed to get along. He thinks
Yeah.
everybody's supposed to be loving. I'll make y'all laugh when him and his dad and I got together. He was, laying in the bed with us and all these things and loving on us. And he's like, me, you, mommy, and daddy, we're just gonna do. I'm like, no, that's not gonna happen. But that's that sweet, that innocence
That
of him.
innocent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if we
Yeah.
just had that mindset, that innocent of a child.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep. Man, what an amazing conversation. I know we have gone over a little bit, but I want to say again, thank you all so much for being vulnerable, for sharing. This was an amazing discussion. It's a discussion that I think people need to have more often.
Mm-hmm.
Denver, I'm loving on you, girl. I'm loving on you, girl. Um, Thank you guys so much. I am going to we may have this conversation again. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. We may have this conversation again, maybe with you all, maybe with a different panel. Um, Thank you guys again for just being available so much. We're gonna wrap the show up. Y'all can stay on with me. Of course, we have the play Saturday. Gospel of Oz. We plan on being there. I need to hit you up. I got some news I ain't told you yet. I'll hit you up. But we do plan on being there. Gospel of Oz, if you are in the Longview area, make sure you check that out. It's in Gilmer. Go ahead.
Gilmer.
You ain't saying that.
It's in Gilmer. It's Gospel of Oz. It's going to be this Saturday at 7 o'clock. Doors open at 6, and it's going to be the Gilmer Civic Center. Tickets are only $10, so we want to make it where you can bring your whole family and not break your pockets. So please come and support. You get to see
Absolutely.
me in a different element.
One of my favorite plays. We got some authors here. Naisha is an author. She's got some books on Amazon. Now, what is your pen name on Amazon, Naisha?
Uh,
What are
it's
your books under?
it's under Naisha Franklin.
Okay. Naisha Franklin, definitely look her up. Again, Sheikah Lachey has a book about grieving, which we talked a lot about tonight. Am I missing anybody? Any other special gifts and talents? Candy, you got a book out yet?
Not yet.
She
You
said,
still
"Yeah."
working on your book?
I
Me too, girl. Me too.
am. Yeah, my book is
And
called As My Journey Continues, and it's speaking about my life. I'm actually being vulnerable, talking about my life as my walk with Christ. Just being like authentically myself. I speak about a little bit about my parents and my brothers, and then I talk through like high school and becoming an adult, and then how I was introduced to Christ and what was my struggles, and just being honest, because you never know who it could benefit to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So definitely keep a watch out on all of that information because as these things come out, we are definitely going to be sharing all that. Um, our finale show is in December, and I've been holding this. We are having author L. Kaysen, and if you read urban romance, L. Kaysen wrote Demon's Dream, which is 700 pages of pure absolute goodness if you are into romantic novels and urban. Her and I are actually signed to the same publishing company, and I'm super, super, super excited to have her on the show. So she will be on our season finale in December, so make sure you tune in for that. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you are interested in being on the show, hit us up. This is all our information. I want to thank my guy from behind the scenes who didn't show my co-host who said he was going to be behind the scenes today. Mr. Darian Walton.
Good job.
Love you, babe. You did a awesome job as the admin today. Nevertheless, we're going to go ahead and end the show. Thank you, ladies. See you on the flip side. Y'all have a good
yeah.
night.
Thank
Bye bye.
Good night.
you.